The Celebrity Equinox is one of the best cruise ships we have sailed on and offers so much to do on your cruise vacation. If you are thinking about a celebrity cruise and want to know more about the Celebrity Equinox, well, today we've got a full walkthrough tour of this wonderful ship. Hey everyone, welcome to Dockside Travel. I'm Melanie.
And I'm Chris. Celebrity Equinox is the third Solstice class ship built by Celebrity, and oddly enough, it was the third Solstice class ship that we sailed on after Eclipse and Reflection. We've sailed on the Equinox 3 times, and for us it offers some of the nicest venues and services for cruisers that tend to shy away from the mega cruise ships. Yet we still like to see lots of great entertainment, fun activities, and have some amazing food.
Today we are going to give you a full walkthrough tour of the ship starting at the top, but stay tuned to the end so we can share our favorite part of the Equinox. Our tour starts at the Retreat Sundeck on Deck 16. This is an area reserved for suite guests.
Deck 16 is only accessible by a set of stairs that you find off of Deck 15.
The Retreat Sundeck is private and exclusive for suite guests only. There's plenty of seating options in this area for suite guests, including some shaded spots.
Just below the Retreat Sundeck, on Deck 15, at the forward of the ship, is the sports court. There's also some lounge chairs that overlook the front of the ship, and a lot of people don't realize it's here, so it's a great place to come and grab yourself a nice, quiet, relaxing chair to take in some sun.
As we make our way to the back of the ship, this is the area where you're going to find the Camp at Sea and the Teen Camp.
Here on Deck 15, at the aft of the ship, you'll see the elevators as well as the table tennis.
This is the Whiskey House. This has limited hours, so if you do want to check it out, you might want to check your cruise newsletter. As soon as you walk out on deck, you'll see the Lawn Club. This is the grass area on Deck 15.
It's a great place to come out, walk barefoot through the grass, or have a game of bocce ball.
In the Lawn Club area, the Equinox has the Hot Class Studio, and this is very popular. If you are interested in attending classes, making your own piece, you definitely want to check this out early.
The Lawn Club also features a large screen where they play sports events throughout the day and movies usually in the evening.
The very popular Lawn Club cabanas are available for rent on both port and sea days.
These can be booked ahead of time, so if you're interested, just check out your app or speak with your travel agent.
We are making our way back now towards the Sunset Bar, and this is another part of the Lawn Club.
This is one of my favorite parts of the ship. It's where the putting green is located, so it's a great place to come back and practice your golf. And of course, Deck 15 has some great views of the ocean, both at day and at night.
And this is my favorite place on the ship. It's the Sunset Bar. It's located at the rear of the ship on Deck 15, and this is where we come, I think, for the first drink and the last drink and lots of time in between.
Yeah, there's lots of cold beverages on a hot day, so if you're looking to cool off and relax, just sit back and enjoy the views of the port you're in, or, of course, the sunset.
It's often a really popular spot, too, on port days when people come back on board, and the magic sail away party.
Yeah, it gets very busy here at the sail away parties.
Oftentimes on the cruise itinerary, you'll note that there's some live music here at the Sunset Bar. I like ending the night here too. We often come back up here after a show, and on the way to our room, we like to come back up and maybe get a bottle of water, sit and relax, look at the stars. This is the reason why we love to cruise, is we get to hear the ocean, the quiet, and it's often not busy at all.
We're making our way from Deck 15 down to Deck 14. This is the deck that overlooks the pool deck area, and there are lots of sun chairs, lots of loungers, and places to relax and unwind. And if you're working on your tan, it's a great place to go.
This is also the walking track, so it does get quite busy here. There's a lot of traffic here on sea days in particular.
Of course, if you're working out, walking a lot of laps around that track, you might get a little hungry, and you don't have to go very far. You can stop by the Masked Grill. The Masked Grill offers hot dogs, hamburgers, and fries. You can also get a cold drink here, and what a way to have a lunch or just an afternoon snack if that's what you're looking for.
The Masked Bar is on the opposite side of the Masked Grill on board Deck 14 on the Celebrity Equinox. This is one of the outdoor smoking venues on board. It does have a full bar and lots of seating areas if you're interested in stopping by here as well.
The forward part of deck 14 is the Sky Observation Lounge, and this is on the starboard side of the ship. Right at the very front, you'll find a quiet seating area by day, and at night there's lots of entertainment, usually a band or DJ playing in this area. There's a great bar, a big bar, and this actual space is huge on the Equinox.
People don't even realize it's open all day long.
And this is also where a lot of the celebrity life activities take place, like trivia and some of the game shows that they have. We tried our luck, didn't do too bad at the movie trivia.
On the port side, there is a small conference room area.
And I know a lot of groups and corporations,
They do.
a lot of companies come here to do some of their team building. What a great
we've
way.
seen some people there.
I wish my work would have a team building experience on this place.
Maybe one day.
Maybe one day. At the very back of deck 14 is the Ocean View Cafe. And this is the main buffet of the Celebrity Solstice class ships. And here on the Equinox, it's the same layout as you would see on other ships.
The best part about the Solstice class ships is they have all of these stations. So each section is separated out. You can kind of pop in and out. No more standing in line with a tray. There are lots of different offerings, and you'll see the signs above with what's available there.
And this is open for 3 meals a day, for breakfast, lunch, and for the evening meal for dinner. And I mean, for everything from fresh fruit to fresh made eggs of your choice, whichever way you would like to have it. And they have a lot of selections of meats and cheeses, artisan cheeses here in Celebrity. And of course, one of your favorites,
The bread.
the breads. Lots of healthy options here as well, with salads and different vegetable dishes, vegetarian options, gluten-free options. Celebrity really does go out of its way, and it's one of the better cruise lines, if not one of the best cruise lines when it comes to food choices.
And there's a few desserts here as well that you could always take with you.
A few? There's a lot of desserts. Here's an insider tip. While there's lots of seating in the buffet area, if you come during the peak times, you may find it a little harder to find a seat, especially when you come in through the main entrance of the Ocean View Cafe. If you can't find a spot there, you might want to just go towards the back of the Ocean View Cafe along the sides. There's a lot more seating along that route. And you'll also find out on the back of the ship, outdoor seating. It's covered, so you're not directly in the sun if you don't want to be. And there's the Ocean View bar back here where you can actually get a drink during your meal times.
And it's always well staffed, well cleaned, and you get that amazing wake view.
Next up is deck 12. There's no deck 13 on Celebrity Cruises, and this is the pool deck. The aft of this area is all cabins, and just in front of the rear elevator banks and staircases, you'll come right out onto the pool deck, and it's sort of a centerpiece.
It really is. A lot of cruise ships really center around that pool deck, and this one's no different. So we have 2 pools on here with 4 hot tubs, and this is very, very popular area.
Yeah, lots of activities. You'll see fitness classes, dance activities, and lots of games. A game called Cornhole is pretty popular, and that was now on board Celebrity cruise ships. You'll also see officers taking on passengers in a lot of these competitions, and that's a big thing. And if you're looking to find a time when there's less crowds, just come when it's pouring rain. It's a great place to come.
We have the place to ourselves.
We have the place to ourselves, literally. We're not made of sugar. And
Just like at the Sunset Bar, going outside on the pool deck at night is not to be missed.
Yeah, this is a great place to come. I think Celebrity has a couple of events called the Full Moon Party or the Deck Party. DJs, live music play up here. However, it does get quite busy up here.
It does. They have really nice lighting here.
Moving towards the front of the ship, just past the pool deck, is the solarium. And the solarium pool, which is adults only area, 18 and above. There's another pool here, as well as 2 more hot tubs. Lots of plush, comfortable seating in this area. It is a quiet space, so if you're coming for a place to have a nap, maybe read a book, it's a great place to relax.
Sea days are very popular in the solarium, so if you do want to spend some time here, getting here early is definitely recommended. In the solarium, there's a spa cafe. This area serves lighter fare, such as small plates with some sandwiches, some lighter salads. You can also purchase some smoothies here as well, I think. Next up, at the very front of the ship, is the fitness center on deck 12. This is a very large area with actually some really amazing views. They have tons of different kinds of equipment, fitness classes here, and their hours of operation are pretty extensive actually. So just look in your newsletter if you're interested in coming.
Yeah, lots to choose from here, from treadmills, bikes, elliptical machines, free weights, and a whole lot of weight machines. There's also classes that they do here, if that's your thing. If you find me here, I probably stumbled in by mistake, and you just turn me around and send me back towards the pool bar. Also in this area is the main reception area for the spa and the Persian garden. The Persian garden is one of the features that are available to Aqua Class guests. It is sort of a thermal suite therapy room. Has some great heated stone benches and a number of different rooms, from saunas, dry saunas, steam rooms to aromatherapy. If you've seen our video on the Celebrity Reflection, this one has a different color scheme. It's blue rather than green. And the one on the Reflection is actually a little bigger. And I think that's because the Reflection is the newest in the class of ships.
The spa offers a lot of treatments. This area has a barber shop and a hair salon with lots of different kinds of treatments that you can book. The spa books up really, really fast, and they do offer specials depending on what day you're in port. So you do want to make sure that you come here early to book the service that you want.
And keep an eye out for any specials they might offer. There are some treatment rooms on this deck, but many of them are actually one deck below on deck 11. Which is where we'll take you to see some of the other treatment rooms. There's an internal staircase that you can use to get from deck 12 spa area down to deck 11. You can see all the treatment rooms on both sides of this hallway heading towards the front of the ship. And here's an example of a couples treatment room.
A little insider tip is at the front of deck 11, there is a relaxation lounge. People think you need to have an appointment here to get in, but you actually don't. You can come on in here from the bottom of deck 11, and it's very, very quiet. You can hang out here and you get some great views.
The rest of deck 11 are cabins, except around the midship elevators, which is a 2-story library, and of course the main atrium, which features a giant tree that grows right up through the entire space, which is well lit by a skylight at the very top. And the rest of the decks all the way down to deck 5 have mostly staterooms and cabins of different types and sorts on each of the levels, but around the central elevator areas on each of the decks there's a different feature. So of course deck 11, deck 10 is the library, and once you go down to deck 9 you're gonna find the card room. This is a place where people gather to play games and board games, which you can find right here.
Deck 8 and deck 7 are the Team Earth and the concierge desk. The concierge is available for people in concierge class if you have any needs that you need to be accommodated with. For example, tender tickets, dining reservations, things like that.
It's also a place where some people come to sit, relax, have a coffee, and just observe what's happening in that main atrium. One deck below this, on deck 6, is the Celebrity Eye Lounge. This is where you can go if you're looking to purchase some Apple products or other pieces of technology, but you can also come here to get some help getting set up on the Wi-Fi if you're having any challenges.
If you didn't bring your own device or you wanted to use the ship's computers, you can come here, use your Wi-Fi package, and use the computers.
Next up is deck 5, and we're going to start in the aft where the specialty restaurants are located. The first one we're going to take a look at is Blue, and Blue is for Aqua Class guests.
We loved Blue very much. It's a really special restaurant. It is available for breakfast and for dinner. It is for Aqua Class guests only, so you do have to be in that class to be able to get in here. It tends to choose lighter fare, but you can also order from the main dining room if you'd like.
Next up is the Tuscan Grill, which overlooks the very aft of the ship on deck 5. It's an Italian steakhouse, so there's a combination of Italian dishes, but also your traditional steak cuts.
Because it's in the aft, you do get those amazing views, and if you'd like, you can request that in your reservation to be seated at the back if they have availability.
And they have tables for 2, right up to tables for 8. Next door to Tuscan Grill is Cuisine Le Petit Chef, and after many years, we finally paid a visit. Tell them why.
Cuisine used to have a little bit of a different option, and it had more small plates and interesting different styles of foods that I really loved. When they shifted to Le Petit Chef, out of a very mini protest that I'm sure no one even noticed except for you, I decided that I didn't want to go. But this year, because we had that really nice dining package, I consented, and you were right. And you were right. You were right. And you were right.
It was fantastic.
It really was.
It features an animated show that takes place right on your table and featuring Le Petit Chef. There's a couple different shows throughout your cruise, depending on the cruise length. And ours was How to Become the World's Greatest Chef. And the food was spectacular.
The animation was fun, and the food was great too.
It was a great experience.
And I got a certificate.
Super chef. I think that belongs to me. Next up is the Ensemble Lounge, which is moving towards the front of the ship. It is where you can go in the evening, and there's a bar here. It's also where for retreat guests, you'll find the Retreat Lounge, a dedicated lounge just for retreat guests. You can see lots of live entertainment. Usually it would be jazz music or classical music, often featured in this area.
Sometimes we like to come here ahead of our specialty dining, or just to kind of come and hang out and meet our fellow cruisers to have a drink before we go to our supper.
Next up is Murano, right off the Ensemble Lounge, and it features French food.
Murano is well known for its exceptional service and some dishes that include tableside preparations. And the dessert. They do an incredible crepe dessert. That's all I went for.
Again, lots of upscale dishes and service in this particular area. It is a beautiful restaurant, great ambiance, and a place that we would highly recommend if you're looking for something that's a little more upscale.
Moving out on deck 5, we are going through the main elevator banks out to Cafe El Bacio. This is where I think we start every morning with that really all-important coffee. A lot of people don't realize that the food here is included in your cruise fare, so you will see pastries in the morning, desserts later in the day, and that's all included, even if you're not getting a drink.
And if you have a beverage package, your coffees, specialty coffees would be included. They make everything from espresso to Americano. My favorite is vanilla latte or cappuccino. It's a great place to come and start your day and relax. And it does get a little busier as the morning goes on, of course, so you might want to come a little earlier, a little later. And there's extra seats on the opposite side of the main atrium.
That's a good tip.
Which takes us to Sushi on 5. Sushi on 5 is a specialty restaurant. It's an a la carte where you pay based on what you choose from the menu. It features some great sushi and sashimi and some other Asian dishes.
This is just those main elevator banks. For those of you who are a little challenged in the direction department, they have a ship's model with a deck plan for the deck you're currently on, and this is available by all those elevators. It really helps you navigate where you are in the ship.
I'm still amazed after all these cruises on the Solstice class ships. I still find Melanie looking at these deck plans.
I know.
Every cruise.
I know. It's okay. That's what they're there for.
Deck 5 is also a great place to come and do a little people watching and watch some of the entertainment that takes place throughout the day, particularly in the evening once the live music ramps up, but we'll show you a little more on that later. Moving from Cafe El Bacio down along the starboard side of the ship, you're going to come to the retail outlet area, but before you get there, just on your left is the World Class Bar.
This is where they offer some of those higher end liquors and those higher end drinks. It does get fairly busy here in the evenings, but not too much during the day.
Often you'll see artwork put on display in this general area. Lots of retail outlets in this area if you're looking for a little retail therapy.
These shops range from some of those things that you forgot to bring on board, plus some of those things that are probably on your wish list in terms of high-priced items.
Moving forward now to the very front of the ship, and you'll come to the main theater, and this is a multi-level theater. The theater offers some activities throughout the day, but in the evening it's where you'll see a lot of the main production shows, including live entertainers.
When I was just a kid, I could dream every dream on your own.
Throughout the day, you will also find some guest lecturers talking on different ports of call or different topics.
Coming out of the theater on deck 4 is Celebrity Central. This is a smaller venue that you'll often find some comedians or some game shows. This is kind of tucked away and it might not be seen when you're walking through, but it is a really cute little venue that is pretty popular.
Right in the middle of this area is a place called Entertainment Court. They do a lot of the celebrity life activities in this area in the evenings. right off this area is also a place called Quasar.
Quasar is a nightclub. During the day, you can come in here, but at night, this is when it really shines. They'll have music in here, they'll have that bar open, and it can get quite busy in here depending on the activity.
And sometimes karaoke is offered here at Quasar.
Yeah.
On deck 4, you'll find Fortune's Casino. And like all the Solstice class ships, it's a fairly large area on the starboard side towards the middle of the ship. Lots of different activities in here, from the traditional table games, including craps, roulette. There's lots of slot machines and video poker machines if you'd like to try to tempt the fates.
And in the casino, there is a really popular casino bar. It is very busy and very popular. They often show some of the sports events that are currently going on in those TVs above there. It can get quite busy in the evenings, and it is a really fun place to hang out.
Yeah, and on sea days in the afternoons, this place tends to get a little busier. There's a couple of tables located along here, and it's a great place to come if you're looking for a place to have a card game.
Just outside the casino is Craft Social. Craft Social is noted for its beer selection.
And whiskeys are on offer in this area, and they do have some beers on tap. This is also a great place to relax, come watch a game, lots of screens here. If you want to try your luck at a bit of foosball, or in our case, we came here sometimes, had a coffee or a pop, and we played some cards.
Over across the atrium is the very, very popular Martini Bar. This is a pretty upscale bar. During the day, it's pretty quiet here because it's not open typically, but at night it really comes alive. That bar turns into ice with the nice lighting and those really spectacular bartenders that put on a big show for you.
Yeah, in addition to a wide selection of martinis that you'd expect to find here, you can get a regular cocktail or even a beer or glass of wine. And it becomes one of the main entertainment venues in the evening. As DJs set up here, you'll sometimes see the silent disco in this area, and is a great vantage point to look down on the entertainers who set up on deck 3. Finally, here on deck 4, in the middle of the ship, is another part of the retail section with some shops where you'll find souvenirs.
Outside on deck 4 is the promenade deck.
At the aft of deck 4 is the main dining room, the Silhouette. The main dining room is 2 levels. On the top level here on deck 4 is where the Celebrity Select dining people come to get a seat. And on the main floor on deck 3 is where the people who have the early and the late traditional dining settings. That's where you would go for your evening meal. This is open for breakfast. What was your favorite dish?
Does dessert cover dish? Those aren't all my desserts.
Yes, they are. And on deck 3, just outside of the main dining room, on the starboard side, you will find the shore excursions desk. And of course, this is the main atrium. On the port side is where you'll find the guest relations desk. If you have a question about your onboard account or your room card or anything to deal with that, this is the place to go to have your questions answered. And just across the main atrium on the starboard side is the Passport Bar. And this is a great place in the evenings in particular. I think it opens around 3 or 4 o'clock in the day normally, but there's lots of activities here throughout the day, including shuffleboard, dance classes, and archery.
I think the atrium is really the heart of the ship in the evening, would you say?
Yeah, this is where a lot of people gather and where a lot of the musical entertainers or the silent discos will be set up. That is one thing Celebrity does really well, is live entertainment. Deck 3 is also where you'll meet on port days, as you're going to go to the gangway area, and you'll go down to deck 2 and make your way out through the security area and the gangway. This is also where you'll come back aboard on the ship. This wraps up our walking tour through the Equinox.
And now for our favorite part of the ship. I think both of us can safely say the Sunset Bar is our favorite.
Absolutely. The whole lawn club area on the Solstice class ships is what keeps drawing us back to the ship time and time again. It is a beautiful area, and there's nothing like the sunrise or the sunset up on the top deck of the ship.
If you liked this video, please consider hitting that like button and subscribing to our channel. It doesn't cost you anything, but it really does help our channel grow so we can continue to bring you more cruise content.
Please leave us a comment and let us know what your favorite part of the Celebrity Equinox is. If you're interested in more insider tips on celebrity cruises, check out these videos here.
Thanks for watching.